Are you sure?
Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never ask a bride why she's getting married. Don't wear a skirt on a windy day. Deodorant is not a shower. Don't sniff chili flakes. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
After 23 years in power, 13 of them in Gujarat as Chief Minister, this will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first experience of governing in an environment of contested politics. The most fiercely contested new space will be the 18th Lok Sabha, set to convene later next week. Despite the NDA's comfortable majority, the rejuvenated and united opposition India bloc will match the numbers and throat power of the BJP. Remember, I said BJP, not NDA. Modi and the BJP under him have never had to deal with such a challenge either in the Gujarat Assembly or in New Delhi in Lok Sabha as yet. The time-tested method of the Modi-led BJP to shout down, suspend or expel opposition members en masse, as with 146 in December last year, will no longer be available. Some of the most important laws were passed in the last Lok Sabha by near unanimous voice votes in opposition-mukt chambers of parliament. The three new criminal laws are among the most significant examples. These come into effect from July 1. All bills will henceforth be fully and contentiously debated and put to vote. Even areas where unanimity was found on the basis of the political rivals' shared trade union interest, such as the National Judicial Appointment Commission Act, because all of them wanted the executive to take some power over the judiciary in the collegium, even such laws will now face a challenge. Parliamentary committees will change character. It is easy to understand, therefore, how critical the choice of the new speaker will be. Also, the question as to whether Narendra Modi will now be willing to change his style and be willing to negotiate with and find common ground with the opposition on some of these critical bills. Prominent political strategist or political aide, as he prefers to call himself, Prashant Kishore has gone wrong with his somewhat hasty prediction of an easy and large BJP majority. But the second significant change he foresaw will turn out quite right, as right in fact as the first was wrong. What was the second prediction that he made? That even with his big majority, if BJP were to get a big majority, even with this big majority, BJP and Modi would face popular discontent, opposition action, street protests. As for his third prediction, that brand Modi is in decline, let's hide behind the oldest cop-out of the opedist, of the commentator or a writer like me. Only time will tell. The opposition is already sharpening the knives on three issues: serial examination paper leaks, the Agnipath scheme and Manipur. Each concerns large segments of the voter demographics, vital for the BJP. Maybe the third, not that much exactly, but national security, internal security is BJP's strong suit, and continuing inability to bring normalcy or some modicum of normalcy back to Manipur will continue to fray it. Rahul Gandhi made the opening moves Thursday with a press conference on paper leaks, but also mentioned Agnipath in passing. As reported by our defense editor, Snehesh Alex Philip, the government was carrying out a review of the Agnipath program even before the elections. But it has to brace for two things now. One, the opposition isn't going to be satisfied with any change short of a full withdrawal. Is the government willing to do that? That will look like a big concession. I don't think the government would want to do that. Ideally, this is not the same as the farm laws, because withdrawal of the farm laws was a kind of a surrender to protesting farmers. This will be a surrender to the new opposition, new energized opposition. Does the government want to give them such a victory? I don't think so. So the second point follows. The second point is, even if the government retains the scheme with substantive changes, the opposition will claim that it forced the government's hands. In the 17th Lok Sabha, when the scheme was implemented with the shock and awe secrecy characteristic of the Modi government, no such pushback was possible. On exam leaks, the minister has already walked back. Initially he said nothing's gone wrong, but now he's walked back to admit responsibility and ordering reviews and inquiries. The BJP has so far had an easy ride on its failure to restore calm in Manipur, with the Congress winning both seats in the state, also the solitary one in the neighboring state of Nagaland. Some of the tribes in the two states are common, and even a chief minister as discredited as Biren Singh digging in his heels, the Modi government can no longer afford the earlier out of sight, out of mind approach. So look, there's a problem, but we can put it away for now. That will not be so easy now. At least it will be challenged. There will also be a new challenge in the new Rajya Sabha now, a different kind of challenge, not as severe as in the Lok Sabha, but significant nevertheless. So far, the BJP was able to count on the support from two significant regional parties, Andhra's YSRCP and Odisha's BJD. This included support on most contentious bill, like the one constitutionally downgrading the powers of Delhi's elected government. Normally would have thought these are one state regional parties. They run their politics in the name of the state's pride, the state's autonomy, and they would find this particular new law changing the status of Delhi particularly abhorrent and also dangerous. But they went along with it and they voted for the law. Neither of these parties was a member of the NDA or an ally of the BJP in any formal way. If anything, the BJP contested against them both in their respective states, but in a friendly manner. Both became the majority government's obedient opposition in national parliament. Can the BJP continue to count on their blind support now? With their defeat by the BJP or its partner, political equations in both states have changed. In Odisha, where the BJP has beaten Naveen Patnaik's BJD, they ran a very tough campaign. In Odisha, where the BJP won a stunning verdict against Naveen Patnaik and his BJD, they ran a very, very tough campaign which included vicious personal attacks on Naveen Patnaik as well. In Andhra, Telugu Desam Party has won. They are partners with the BJP in NDA. BJP contested this election with TDP and YSRP is defeated. But both YSRP and BJD will continue to have seats in Rajya Sabha because we know that composition of Rajya Sabha will take time reflecting the changes in these two state assemblies. Until then, what does the BJP do? Can it continue to count on these votes? Now, Jagan in Andhra, YSRCP, he might have a problem because he's been out on bail for 11 years now after spending 16 months in Tihar jail on serious corruption charges. So, would he now worry that if he is hostile to the BJP, his troubles might come back? I don't know, but certainly Naveen has no such problem, and also Jagan will also have to reconstruct his politics and review his politics. So, the BJP will have to look at this Rajya Sabha situation differently. If anything, this means a lot more work for the BJP's floor managers. And finally, in Parliament, if Rahul Gandhi accepts the post of leader of the opposition, will he have the constitutional right to sit with the Prime Minister to choose people for key positions, including the heads of the CBI, the CBC, Central Vigilance Commission and Election Commission, however notional or symbolic it is? Chai with Rahul, Rahul ke saath chai, chai pe charcha with Rahul, chai with Rahul, unavoidable, if occasional, is an important metaphor for the Prime Minister's transformed universe. The changed reality for the Modi government in its third innings is a return to the old normal. This is how politics used to be in India, where even majorities had to routinely wrestle with the storied million mutinies. You know, everybody says India, million mutinies, etc., etc. So everybody, even majority governments, had to deal with these storied million mutinies. The past decade was the centre's least challenging on that count. Most challenges that emerged, notably the anti-CAA and JNU protests, were speedily put down. Only the farmers' protest ended with a victory. By and large, government had the space to compartmentalize its challenges, deal with some piecemeal and put off others indefinitely. Take the stalled Naga Peace Accord, for example. It simply fell off the to-do list, and now I don't know how the Nagas, how the NSCN, how's Muiba, the founder of NSCN, how are they looking at the new situation, because they also see the change on the ground. Manipur, from where Muiba and his tribe, the Tangkhuls, come. Manipur is having its own kind of problems, and he also knows that the Congress has won both the seats in Manipur and this solitary seat in Nagaland. So BJP has lost the 2 seats in Manipur. BJP's ally, who's in power in the state, lost the seat to Congress party. So Muiba and Naga Underground involved in talks for a long time with Government of India. They could also look at the situation a little bit differently. That's another complexity in a difficult region. These aren't earth-shaking new challenges, but they underline the fact that in its 3rd term, the Modi government will now need to square up to what used to be the usual mundane challenges in governing India. For example, the 3 radicals who won in Punjab and Kashmir, Engineer Rashid in Kashmir and Baramulla, Sarabjit Singh, the son of Indira Gandhi's assassin, Beant Singh in Faridkot, and Amritpal Singh in Khadur Sahib. 2 of the 3 are still in jail, by the way. These are the kind of issues he has never had to confront, or Modi government has never had to confront. This is not unprecedented. This is not abnormal, which I said earlier. This is, on the other hand, the return of the normal irritants of democracy. And finally, the political challenge of the day after. From 2002, when Modi led his party to victory in his first election in Gujarat, there was never any doubt about his all-conquering electoral power. Each election further cemented his position as his party's main vote getter and the only one in the course of time. Of course, there was some bit of a kerfuffle in the run-up to the Gujarat elections of 2017 when it looked like Congress with its new alliances with Patels and backward castes was running it close, but that also passed. That's why in the course of time, Modi, who started as his party's main vote getter first, became its only vote getter in the course of time. Leaders of consequence from other parties who had opposed the RSS-BJP ideology for decades walked across, presuming that crossing over brought them a Modi ki guarantee of winning elections. Does that presumption still exist? Even after both general elections, 2014 and 2019, it was evident that Modi wasn't able to swing for his party. Most of the state elections that followed soon thereafter. It was then argued that while he could swing a lamppost election as long as the vote was sought for him, that's in Lok Sabha, or maybe in Gujarat, when vote was still sought for him directly, the same formula did not work when he wasn't on the ticket, or did not always work, or did not often work when he wasn't on the ticket. But it was not seen as a failing because he was only rising at the national level. Now, every state election, first up Maharashtra, Haryana and Jharkhand later this year, just in a few months, then Delhi in January and Bihar in September next year, all of these will be seen by his followers for evidence of his recovery and by the rivals of his sharpening decline. It isn't as if Modi hasn't faced challenges in the past. As Chief Minister of Gujarat, he and his key aides were confronted with multiple cases and investigations, a Western boycott, visa denial, and tough challenges from activists and courts. Instead of weakening his politics, however, these strengthened it because he was the underdog fighting for his ideology. His base, therefore, was happier and stronger. Nobody was able to challenge him electorally. The new situation is qualitatively different.